two-dimensional array would look something like this. It's really, when you think of a two-dimensional array, it's always a 2D array. It's an array of arrays. Okay, so arrays, you can think array as a table, whether it's single dimensional or not, because there's always the index to track it, right? So we don't show the index, but it's still really it's still a table. So let's see. So if you look at this table, right, we have, what do we have? We have like we're seeing, and however you want to view this, we're seeing Disney and Mars, just the 3 for now, right? This is one array, and this array here has, just 3 elements, right? Straightforward. So you can say it's a single row. This is a one-dimensional array. It's a row of data, or if you want to look at the other way around, we would say a column of data. Okay, it doesn't matter. But you're still going to index these with like the index numbers 0, 1, and 2, and so on. So you still have to deal with like the rows and columns, right? This is single array. A two-dimensional will just add another row to it. It becomes two-dimensional array. This one may be like Hawaii. And then we still, I guess, someone wants to go Boise still. And I think, Bell, you want to go to Sheboygan, so we put that back in here. Okay, so we have an array of two-dimensional arrays of, so now it's really a table. It's a true table. Okay, so now we have not only the columns to deal with, we have the rows to deal with too. So you have rows, right? It's still indexed. So to get to Boise, you need to go to row 1, column 1 to get there, right? So this is easy to see. Visually, this is how we would picture it. But in the code, you have to do it differently. So an array would have like a var, maybe we call this new places. You still use the curly break, the square brackets. So this is the outer array, okay? And then for that first row of record, you put that inside another square brackets, and you separate each of those rows or data with a pair of brackets, right? So in here, I'm going to say, just put in here, what? Let's put Disney in here. Let's say it has Disney, let's put 2 places, and Hawaii. The second row will have Boise and Sheboygan. And the third is Mars and Venus. Okay, so this is how you construct a two-dimensional array. If that's hard to see, you can always break it down like this, so you can see it better this way. It's really, right, however you want to do it, it's completely fine. It's easier to see this way, then you do it this way. So you can see it's in columns and rows, right? So I have 2 columns and 3 rows. It looks just like a table now. And you can access it directly this way. Row 0, row 1, row 2. Column 0, the first column, right? If you put that like this, it looks nice. Column 1, column 2, so column 0, 0. So to get to Disney, you need to go places and then 0, 0. And to access the arrays in this way, you do it this way. You say new places, the row 0, column 0. Okay, that will give you that row column. It's always row column. Of course, you can change the number around, but I mean, in terms of how we reference, so usually this is the first row, first column, and then so on. So a third dimensional array will just add another bracket to it. Okay, so very similar to Java. In Visual Basic, it's different. Okay, Visual Basic, you put instead of parentheses, you put you separate each with a comma. So if I were to do this, and let's just say we display that to the console, just to make sure it's correct. So we can say console.log, and log the new places 0, 0 of, and see if that really is Disney. So you can say that this is the outer array, this is the inner array. Okay. And if I save this, go back to the here to run, and then refresh. You do a F12 key, and let's see if it's there. Okay, so you see that Disney has been displayed on the console. Okay. And if you want to display the third one, you could do from here directly on the browser. Let's see if it works. So new places, or maybe not. It's not. I think it's not global. Yeah, it's not global. If it is, you could just display here. So that's two-dimensional, and that's all we're going to get. Right? You don't go into three-dimensional; it gets confusing. But the idea is the same thing. Three-dimensional will be, again, you put it in here. Instead of distance, you put another part of curly brackets in here, braces, and you have three-dimensional and so on. Okay? Questions before we take a break?
What would be the purpose of a two-dimensional array?
Build a chess game.
Okay.
Yeah, right. You have a chessboard.
Black and white.
Yeah, so if you build a chessboard, right? See, the top two row will be for your opponent. You have the two row here, your pawns and your kings and queens, and how do you move around that chessboard? Okay, so, I mean for a game, right. But it can be used for other purposes. You know, anything that you do with a table is a two-dimensional. We use a lot of tables in the real world. A table of records of anything, right? So. A good question. A three-dimensional is maybe a little bit tough. Besides game, a three-dimensional would be like very related to database, right? If you think about how do you store let's just say you have a big company. You have, a branch office here, a branch in New York, and a branch in London. So you want to separate that out into different regions. So the first array would be like the regions, either New York, LA, or here. Second would be maybe a regional, right? And then third would be like the location or the actual business location. Yeah, X, Y, Z. And you have what you have. It's a cube. Use that a lot in big data.